Hello everyone, Mike Arend here, the Soul Mechanic, and I'm welcoming you to another episode of Men on Fire, the 5-Minute Message. Hey, one more thing before we get going. Are you feeling stressed, anxious, or frustrated these days? If you are, and you'd like a little help, go to calendly.com/Soul Mechanic Booking and book a 15-minute clarity call with me, absolutely free. That's Calendly, CALENDLY.com/Soul Mechanic -booking. Also, if you're looking for an accomplished public speaker to speak in person or virtually at your next event or meeting, I can help you out there too. Okay, let's get on with the show. Welcome, and welcome to another episode of Men on Fire, the 5-Minute Message, here on Soul Mechanic Radio. On today's episode, we're going to continue our discussion about the illusions that humans have. Now, this is the fourth illusion, the illusion of insufficiency, or not having enough. And I think after listening to my last one, which was a third illusion, the illusion of disunity, I think that I need to simplify this a little bit more, and some of you probably were a little bit confused after that one, so I'm going to try to break this down a little bit easier this time around. So this fourth illusion, the illusion of not having enough, actually can be used to show us how much we have. So it's actually a very useful illusion. The universe is abundant. And so the story goes, in the Garden of Eden, we had everything. But it just wasn't enough, was it? We needed more. And it just failed to impress us because we didn't know what we had. We didn't know that we had everything at our disposal. We had immortal life, which we still have, by the way. But in my way of thinking, in my belief, is that the Garden of Eden is a myth. It's a story that was intended as a metaphor, not to be taken literally, as indeed most of the stories that encompass all the world's wisdom traditions and religions as we know it. They're not meant to be taken literally, word by word, as the gospel truth. They were meant more as metaphors in order for us to live a certain way and to avoid pitfalls and to think our way through things and use them as ways we could fall back on and go, oh yes, that's how I have to think about this. Not to actually take it step by step and painful step and do it literally. But anyway, that's a little bit off topic there. But the fact remains that when we have everything and we don't know it, well, then we actually have nothing. Right? If you had everything at your disposal, but you didn't even know you had that, you didn't know that you had everything at your disposal, you'd actually have nothing. You'd have nothing to use, to do. And the only way we can experience having then is to at some point and in some way not have. So hence the illusion of not having enough. And that's how this illusion can be helpful. Now, a quick story here. As many of you know, I've talked about my story and going through bankruptcy and all those sorts of things, but it was a dark night for me when I heard a knock on the door. It was probably about 8 o'clock in the evening, and it was November, so it was already dark out. And I opened the door. I was living in a basement apartment at the time, and opened the door, and there was a guy standing there, and his only words were, "I'm here for the car." And I thought, oh. which I knew was coming because in the bankruptcy and everything, I stopped paying for the car, obviously. So the bank sent somebody to come get it. And he looked a little bit, hopefully everything was going to go all right. Like, you never know these things, I guess, when they repossess stuff. So I said, well, just give me a second. So I put my coat and shoes on and grabbed the bag. I want to get my personal stuff out of the car. He goes, yeah, no problem. So I went out and he was already changing the plates, taking the plates off the car and putting some other plates on it. And somebody else was waiting across the road because that's how they got there, and then they would drive off together. So there was somebody else with them. And we had a little quick discussion. I took everything out of the car, and he just said, well, take it easy. And I said, yeah, thanks. And, they drove away. It was a cool evening, and I watched the taillights of the car fade away. But all that was there was myself, and I could see my breath. So my breath leaving my body, and I saw it kind of going up, and I just felt so alone. And it's not a nice thing to go through, but that I didn't know really what I had all this time. All the things that I had, the houses, the cars, the money in the bank, paying for ability to pay for everything. And when that suddenly stops, then you realize what you actually had by finally not having enough. So our experience of not having enough then is actually intended as a blessing, because then it would help us understand our true nature of having everything. Yep, that's right. We are part of the universe, source energy, God, if you will. And as such, everything is out there. We already have access to anything and everything. We just need to understand how to access it in physical form, which is something we'll talk about in the future. But now, since us not having enough is actually an illusion that we have created, here's how we can break down the walls of this illusion of not having enough. Are you ready? So if you see people out there that are hungry, feed them. Try to provide them food. Give them some money to get fed. If you see people that need clothing, clothe them. Give some of your things away. Help them out, or find something to keep them warm. If you see people out there that need shelter, help them find shelter somewhere. If it's a homeless person, maybe try to ask if they can get to the nearest homeless shelter, or in some way help them the best that you can. And no matter how little you have, you can always find people that have less than you. And find these people and give them some of your abundance, no matter what it is. Just help them, and you'll help break down this illusion that we don't have enough, because we always do. But it's Western society. It's so ingrained in our culture. Get out there, get educated, get a job, get a car, buy a house, have kids, and just buy. And it's the consumerism. And the huge magnets out there love that. They love us buying stuff all the time. They want to keep us constantly in advertisement, and watching what we need. Oh my God, I better get that. We don't even need it. We didn't even know about it 5 minutes ago, but now we see an ad and we need that thing. So we're constantly being bombarded with that, thinking that we don't have enough. But we do. Have you got food in your belly, clothes on your back, shelter over your head? Are you able to listen to this podcast? You have enough. Help someone else also. Then if you do, I promise you, it will come back to you tenfold. And I want you to always remember this. What you give, you become. I'll say that again, very important words. What you give, you become. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode, and I look forward to seeing you again very, very soon. Bye for now. Hey, do you think 3 words can change your life? Well, I know they can. Whether you want to leave a dead-end job or conquer addiction, heal a relationship, master your finances, or grow a business, the 3 words you need are, you're the one. That's right, you are definitely the one. How do I know? Because I'm the one too. And those 3 words have changed my life. It's the title of my new trilogy of books, and the first 2 are available right now at micahwren.com. Thank you so much for listening to today's episode. As always, keep what feels good and dump what doesn't. And remember, live without judgment, give without expectation, and love for no reason. Follow those 3 simple expressions, and you'll be well on your way to an inspirational, intentional, and successful life. Until next time, you're the one.